Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Please excuse the way I look. It has been a very long day of teaching and packing orders for Munchaholics, and my baby was like in a mood today, so just excuse the hair and everything. But today's video is going to be on how do you turn down a student. Okay, now some of you might be thinking, why on earth would you want to turn down a student? Because some of us are not even getting bookings. Well, if you guys want to know more about this, then definitely keep watching. Alright guys, so I have had a few cases in the past where I did not want to teach a student. The first one was because the student is being inappropriate. So Preply obviously does have some guidelines and rules, and they say don't share your private or personal contact details with the student. Now, obviously, I broke this rule. I shared my email address with the student because they were not getting the materials that I needed them to get for the lesson, because I was not using Preply's ready-made lessons. So okay, I got him to send me an email, and I sent him the material that we needed, and then I got an email saying, can you please wear a red dress to our lesson? Now this obviously was insanely inappropriate. I immediately blocked him. Okay, I went on to Preply. I sent him a message saying that this is extremely disrespectful, it's very inappropriate, and the normal, right? I then reported him to Preply. I sent screenshots of both the email and our conversation so that Preply could understand why I shared my email address, because their communication side and their chat section was not working properly. And then second of all, so that they can see that I did not say anything to kind of get this sort of reaction from the student, and what they did is they immediately blocked his account, right? So that is something that you should always do. Keep everything in writing. Try as much as possible to not share your details with the student unless you've had many lessons with the student, you know that they're not complete weirdos, and they're not going to do something like that. And then because there are some of my students who I do have to email them the material because they just don't receive it on Preply. So that was the first one where the student was inappropriate. The second one is where the student was outright rude, and I am technically my own boss, okay, working on Preply. I left working in a corporate environment because my bosses treated me like shit. Sorry for that word, but I am not going to be treated like that now, where I've chosen to work on my own terms. So obviously South Africa has an issue with load shedding. I unfortunately do not have a generator or a UPS system. I've just started this journey, and I have bills to pay basically. So there's not enough money to put aside to invest in these things just yet. Obviously I am saving towards it, and I will get something in place pretty soon. But normally when it comes to load shedding, I either have to move around my lessons or I have to reschedule to another day. And this is something I am very open and clear with students when they book a trial lesson with me. So when I have the trial lesson, the first part of my trial lesson, I explain to them what load shedding is. I explain to them what will happen if I have load shedding. I also explain to them that sometimes my power will just go off and it's not even on the schedule. So the student will then tell me, yes, they are totally fine with this, they understand, or they'll say to me, look, their schedule is not flexible, they are not able to do this. At that point, I then end my trial lesson with them, but I obviously say to them, look, we're going to end our trial lesson now. You don't have to confirm this lesson so that you can obviously get refunded from Preply and choose a different tutor, because I don't want to waste your time or your money on a platform where, we're not a good fit, for example, because we have issues with our schedule. And I have even received a review from a student who was extremely rude with me for this reason. He then gave me a 5-star review saying that I am very helpful and all of these things because I was honest with the student. So what had happened is with this particular student. I explained all of this during my trial lesson. I also sent it in writing so that it is documented in case there's ever an issue, because I believe if it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. So what had happened is I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning to have the lesson, and I was not scheduled for load shedding, and there we go, 4:45, my electricity goes out. And I'm like, what the hell do I do now? Because I checked my laptop and my laptop does not have enough battery, because it was on charge, but obviously the power was out during the night as well, so it did not charge properly. And obviously, you know, I use my fiber for my lessons. I don't know how it works with a lot of you, but when I do have to buy data, I mean, it's not worth it for the lesson, because then the cost, it basically takes about 600 to 700 megabytes for me to do a lesson. That's excluding any material that's being sent to the student and all of these things. So for me to pay for that data, or when I have fiber, and then the cost of the lesson, unfortunately, it does not make financial sense to me. So I always move the lesson or reschedule. So anyway, I send the student a message and I say, unfortunately, this is what has happened. I'm going to have to just move our lesson to an hour or two later, because my power is probably going to come back on by then, because this was not a scheduled thing on the app that I have. So the student then sent me a very rude message saying that I did not tell them about this. They had no idea that I would be moving lessons. They had no idea that sometimes it would be last minute and all of this. So I then sent them a reply, and I was very direct. And I said, first of all, don't ever speak to me like that, because it is totally out of line. During my trial lesson, I stated A, B, and C. Please refer to the first message I sent you after our trial lesson, where it lists all of these things that were mentioned, that this could happen due to the situation in this country. Anyway, the student then ended up apologizing and saying that they still want to have lessons with me, and they will definitely be more understanding in the future. But for me, there was already a bad taste in my mouth. I apologized to the student and I said, unfortunately, I feel like this relationship cannot be salvaged, because this is the way that you handled the situation, this is the way you spoke to me, and I wish you all the best in finding a tutor that will fit and with your English journey. He then ended up giving me a review, and a very good review at that, because I was honest, but I was also very respectful and direct with him. But at the end of the day, I think it's very important to have a good relationship with your student, because remember, we don't get paid for trial lessons. So you don't want to be wasting a whole hour of your life with somebody who's not going to book lessons with you in the future, okay? Because let's face it, if you charge $10 an hour, for example, and that trial lesson is free, you need that student to book additional lessons with you so that you can make up for that time, even if they just book one lesson. Do you understand? But there's going to be students who will do the trial lesson with you, you send them a follow-up message, and then you never hear back from them. So that also affects your conversion to trial, your conversion from trial to lesson rate on Preply. So it also brings your profile score down. So these are things that I like to avoid, and they have worked out well with me, for me. And obviously, like I said, you have to be tasteful in the way you do this. You have to be tactful in the way you do this. You can't just say to them, listen, I don't like you and I don't want to have a lesson with you. You have to explain why you might not want them as a student. What is the issue? Why there is no solution to the issue? And then go from there. So guys, I don't want I don't want this video to be a very long one, because I honestly hate videos that take too long. But if you guys have ever had a student like this, or been in a situation like this and wondered, oh my gosh, I cannot say that I can't teach you, I wanted to just tell you that I have done this before, and I constantly get bookings from new students, and none of these students have given me bad reviews or for example, gone and complained to Preply and had my profile blocked, because I know there have been tutors who get their profile blocked because they kind of have a misunderstanding with a student. But before I end this video, I just want to give you a very important tip, and that is, if it is a trial lesson, never cancel the trial, because if you cancel 5 trial lessons, I believe you will be blocked on Preply. and that is, I think, permanently. So I never ever cancel a trial lesson. If a student doesn't want to have the trial lesson with me, probably because I had load shedding and I rescheduled twice or something like that. Obviously, it's not an ideal thing, but look, this happens. Not all of us have generators, not all of us have UPS systems. Some of us are just starting out. In that case, rather just tell the student you need to cancel the lesson. And I've done this twice before, and the student had no issues. They canceled the trial lesson. It did not affect me. On my statistics, it did not show that I had any cancellations, so that was perfect. Because like I said, if you cancel a certain amount of trials, Preply does block you, right? So definitely, if it's a trial lesson, have the talk with your student, speak to them or message them and tell them that, look, you as the tutor are unable to cancel a trial lesson. They have to cancel it from their side as they are the student. So that's a very important tip for you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys found this video really helpful. I hope that if any of you were in the situation and had some questions, you had some of them answered in this video. And again, thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel, for watching my videos, guys. It means the absolute most to me. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.